ESPN continues to amaze. They continue to give me gas. They continue to make me lift the cheek. They continue to say, my ass. There's a nondescript employee named Ari Chambers, and she, of course, being a woman, being an activist, being at ESPN, must be insanely liberal. Ari Chambers is outraged. Oh, my God, if Ari Chambers is outraged, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? She's outraged. President Donald Trump signed an executive order, now listen for it, banning males from competing in girls' and women's sports. She took her aggression like most people do these days. She went to X and, quite frankly, showed her ass is what she did, ignoring the mental repercussions, ignoring. I got a daughter. I don't want her being dressed in front of at the NCAA tournament like Riley Gaines and all her competitors had to be. I don't know, ignoring the fact that, well, biological women face great mental repercussions when sharing a locker room with a biological dude. Got his junk all out, flaunting, taunting, stupid. Should never have happened in the first place, but Ari ain't happy. And when Ari ain't happy, we go, who? What the hell is Ari Chamberlain or Champion or Chambers or Judges I don't know. But anyway, that's what we do. We're like, huh? But it's an ESPNer being a complete liberal creep, and she apparently wants to sit in a locker room with the dangling kicks right in front of her as she's getting ready to go swim or bowl or whatever for a national championship. Ari Chambers, the executive order banned trans girls and women from participating sports is disgusting. Doing it on National Girls and Women's in Sports Day is pointed. Evil. Oh, shut the frick up. It's the perfect day to do it. It doesn't say national trans. It doesn't say I woke up and I feel binary. No binary, no cis. No, shut up. It's the perfect day to do it. Couldn't have been a better day for Donald Trump to do it. But, of course, Ari, working at ESPN, she has been indoctrinated. Ariel Chambers got indoctrinated, whatever you call it, when you go from being a human being to being a psychopath. And yes, I'm calling you a psychopath. You want dudes swinging their cacas in front of women in locker rooms because that's what it is. Now, I've said this forever. I got a daughter. I got a stepdaughter. I got a wife. I got an ex-wife. I got a mother. I got a sister. I got a sister-in-law. What? I got all this stuff. I don't want any of them to have to compete against a dude. You want to be a dude? Go compete against a dude. You want to be a chick transitioning to a dude? Go compete against a dude. You want to be a dude transitioning to a chick like that Leah Thomas, who, by the way, will end up being a dude later on, but I digress. Guess what? Go play with the dudes. Simple. But Ari's mad because, well, she's at ESPN and nobody knows who she is and she needs to make a statement. The executive order banning trans girls and women from participating in sports is disgusting. Really? Doing it on National Girls and Women's Day in sport is evil. Pointed. No, it's perfect. I'll give you a different one. Peep, 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 peep. As a father of 3 daughters getting started in sports, this is a great day in the USA. Chambers, I'm really curious, genuinely, how did trans girl pose a threat to your daughter starting sports? What about the fathers of trans girls who won't ever get to see their kids play sports? What do you think will happen to your daughters if a trans girl is their teammate or an opponent? Well, boys are much bigger, stronger, faster. That's endangering girls' safety. We've seen that everywhere. And by the way, you want to go play with the boys. No problem. Fathers can still see their sons play sports. That's right. They just have to play against other boys. Most of all, girls are being cheated out of accomplishments and opportunities to boys. You should be ashamed. Absolutely. Look, the safety issue is one thing, but you fight like hell. Women fight like hell, so some 20-something little pain in the ass like Ariel Chambers can have a job in sports. Women everywhere. You know what? If trans folks started taking all these little blonde-headed bleach blondes from on ESPN and on the sideline, they'd start a bitching. They would start a bitching if the little gals at ESPN who run the sideline had to sit there in a locker room to primp while some dude is taking her job in a wig, swinging that thing. It'd be a little bit different. But Aria, well, Ariel, well, just is mad. They will get injured or subjected to see male genitalia in the locker room or worse. That's right, responded another. Forcing girls and women to change naked next to a person with male genitalia sounds, to use the term, disgusting and also evil. Whose term was that? That was Ariel's. OutKick asked ESPN if the network agreed with Chambers' comments about Trump's executive order. Unfortunately, the network has not responded as of publication. They're never going to respond. They don't even know who Ariel Chambers is. But Ariel wants to chime in because when you go to ESPN, you must toe the company line. When you go to ESPN, you must, and I mean you absolutely must, get yourself in line with all of the other crazy. It doesn't matter whether you are at the forefront and all of the folk there are going to say, we love you, you're the greatest, oh my God, you're so brave, or you're at the ass end like Ariel Chambers. The truth of the matter is, you know what? The indoctrination is fascinating. It really is. People have asked me all the time, and I do mean all the time, why'd you leave ESPN? They asked me that to start when I first left. Now people are saying, how did you stay at ESPN so long? My answer is very clear. My answer is simple. My answer is I didn't have to go there anymore. She's a founder, Ariel is. She's an advocate, Ariel is. She's an amplifier. Ariel is. She talks about women's sports on ESPN and the very racist Anscape. Oh, God. This is the latest from Ariel. The WNBA is so important. Oh, it is. Oh, my God, is it important. It is so important. I mean, if you didn't have the WNBA, what would we do? I mean, really, what would we do? Oh, my God. Seriously. What if all dudes started playing in the WNBA? That's what I would ask Ariel. I'm looking through Ariel's stuff, and she's got all this women's basketball stuff. At 62 years old, fat, bald, but getting in shape, I can go drop 30 in a WNBA game tomorrow. You know, Clay put out a good high school team, even not a great high school team. A good high school team could beat the WNBA by $1 million, by 20 plus. He offered $1 million. He asked me when we went to dinner the other day, what do I think? What do I think? I think our group at dinner, a bunch of fat old guys, could beat a WNBA team by 20. Are you insane? I don't care if you put a WNBA all-star team. So stop. We're going to support you. We are. But when you say stupid stuff like, well, it's disgusting, trans women can't play against real girls and real women, you open yourself up for stupid. And as we look at who you are, because nobody knows who she is ridiculous. Good for her. I hope at some point it happens. It's gonna. I hope at some point a bunch of dudes that wake up one morning and say, you know, I feel like a woman. I feel like a woman today. I'm taped and I'm tucked. Let's go. And they go drop 30 in a WNBA game. Just stop with the stupid. Once that happened, dumbasses, racists like Ariel Chambers will all of a sudden sit up straight and go, whoa, wait a second. This ain't right. When all of a sudden all these arrogant, ridiculous, sexist, racist women of the WNBA got to sit next to a dude dressed as a woman in a locker room that kicks their ass, they're going to go, wait a second. We want to go back to the days of Caitlin Clark. Of course you do. I don't give a damn whether transgender. I am the most open person ever. I don't give a damn whether a transgender person plays or doesn't. Go play against the men. There is no rule, none, anywhere, anytime, any place that says somebody that is transgender must always participate against women. There's no rule. It's not the 10 Commandments coming down from the mount. I'm reading the Bible and we're in Exodus, and he's got the tablets, and Moses is bringing them down. There is no tablet. Were I to be the WNBA when this happens, I would say exactly what I just said. We are very inclusive in the WNBA. Go play with the boys. We're going to let you try out. We think you play at a great level. Go see and test yourself against the men, but you can't play here. Then everybody like Ariel Chambers and all the other little racists running around will go, oh, my God, it's terrible. Simple. Nobody's more inclusive than me. Nobody loves diversity more than me. Play against the boys. Kind of easy, really. I mean, I can't believe we actually are talking about someone named Ariel Chambers, an innovator, an owner, a founder, an amplifier. Yeah, amplifier of stupid shit. Continuing in the marvelous world of ESPN. ESPN's a train wreck. As I said, people would ask me, why would you leave ESPN? Now, why would you stay so long? Yeah, true story. The marvelous world of ESPN and the network continues to implode. Stock prices going down. Long time and legend Tony Kornheisrer, and he took a blowtorch to the crew of Get Up for their constant bashing, racist bashing, of course, of Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni. Now, you're going to say it's not racist. No, it is. They know at ESPN, whether it's Get Up, First Take, or any other shows other than Kornheiser or Wilbon, they know who's easy to pick on. They know you got some white dude in Philadelphia, where the fans are the rudest, the toughest. They boo Santa Claus, allegedly, all that stuff. That you know who to pick on when you're doing Get Up, when you're doing First Take. You just do. I'm sorry, but I saw it for years. You've seen it. Don't at me. Anyway, Kornheiser is mad. Kornheiser's not having it over the treatment of Nick Sirianni, the Eagles coach, comparing it to, Ryan Day. And he's right. Look, if you are a white dude and you are in sports, you can bet your ass if it doesn't go great all the time, Get Up, whatever the morning radio show is, and certainly First Take, they're going to bash your ass because you're white. I've seen it forever. We've all seen it. We know who the easiest people to go at ESPN is, and we know who gets protected. So just stop it. Here's Kornheiser.
As you know, my pet issue for a couple of months, because I see these former NFL players go on the Get Up show, and they say, Nick Sirianni, you got to fire him. Nick Sirianni is the problem. No. You're the problem. Nick Sirianni is 48-20, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and he hired great coordinators. Fangio's a great coordinator. Kellen Moore's lost him now, but he's a great coordinator. He appears to know what he's doing. He's in that position, Nick Sirianni, though, because of the nature of fandom in Philadelphia, where it is extreme. It is mercurial. That if he goes a couple of bad years, people will want to scream and get rid of him. He's in the same position, Mike, that Ryan Day is in Ohio State. I guarantee you, if Ryan Day loses to Michigan next season, people will say, I don't care about the national championship. We got to beat Michigan. So they're in the same sort of position, and we'll see what happens. Let's take a break.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell Wilbon didn't like it because a lot of those former athletes are African-American, and we're talking about a white dude. Wilbon was dying to chime in there with something, but you know what? Kornheiser, like most of us, has just had enough. I mean, I have a chance every morning. I have a big screen TV right there, and I don't even turn it on to ESPN. I used to, but I don't even do it. I mean, what am I going to watch? A bunch of dumbasses tell me how bad white guys are? Bunch of dumbasses calling for white coaches to be fired. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And occasionally, they go the other direction. I mean, did you see when Dan Orlovsky made a very, very reasoned reason why he decided to vote for Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson? And did you see Jeff Saturday? Did you see Dominic Foxworthy, whatever the hell his name is, just act like complete clowns? Just act like complete jackasses. I mean, Saturday's a fraud. We saw that here in Indianapolis. Saturday's full of shit. Saturday's useless. And we know Foxworthy hates white people. I mean, we just do. I mean, if you haven't paid attention, then you don't know. But if you paid attention like I have, you understand that Saturday's a fraud. Me, I. And he'll join in because he knows where the bread is buttered at ESPN. Stick close to the African Americans. Well, Orlovsky said, screw this. I don't need this crap anymore. I'm out. Good for him. I mean, why are you going to sit on a set with 2 guys that are complete clowns that are going to make fun of you for being reasoned, for being articulate, for giving a great answer as to why they did something? And all those 2 jackasses did was grunt and groan and act stupid. But anyway, I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I can tell you is good for Tony Kornheisrer. See, you got to understand something about Kornheisrer and Wilbon. Their show has cachet. Their show has equity. There'll be a lot of people that get laid off, at ESPN, but it ain't going to be Kornheisrer and it ain't going to be Wilbon, and neither should it be. Their show all these years later is entertaining. It would be like me and Dylan having a show. People would be entertained until Dylan turns 50 and I'm 107. But that's the kind of cachet guys like us have. That's what Kornheisrer and that's what Wilbon have. We're still waiting for Fox to come to their senses and give us an afternoon sports talk show. It'll happen, I swear. Hey, want more beef? I got more beef. You ready? Odd pairing. John Rocker, some of you may not know, but John Rocker, back in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, made some very, observant, in his mind, statements about New York City, in his mind. I mean, they were a little bit ridiculous. Now, Rocker is saying that his comments on immigration and what was going on in the subway in New York City turned out to be true. I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought, why would you say something like that if it weren't true? You can't make up the things that Rocker was saying. And Rocker, of course, was smashed in the media. I remember going when Rocker was demoted from the Braves. He was pitching against the Toledo Mudhens. So I took my kids, my wife, we went. Man, there was all kind of media dudes there. And I remember two of the guys were sitting there. One of them, I think, turned out to be Howard Bryant. He looked at me with disdain like he was pissed to even have to talk to the Bowling Green coach. The other guy, he knew a little more of my history, so, of course, he sat up straight. Anyway, Howard Bryant, suck it. Anyway, Rocker is now started a reemergence. He's trying to become basically like Antonio Brown. He's trying to be the edgy, oft-times disgraced former player that comes back with a vengeance on X. He's doing all right. People are starting to follow him. People are starting to remember. And people are, I guess, he says, people are telling him that he was right all the time. Okay. Well, this is very weird. Rocker and ex-Met pitcher Patrick Mahomes Sr., the father of they're getting ready to throw down. I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it at all. Let's throw hands. I got to tell you, though, John Rocker, I think he would take Patrick Mahomes' daddy and break him in two, but we got more beef. Here's John Rocker and Patrick Mahomes on X. That effing loser can't take a damn joke, Rocker said on X. I wish I'd have laid him out right there and ruined his bullshit weekend even more. There you go. All right. Patrick Mahomes, of course, we're all supposed to change. I want hope and change. Patrick Mahomes Sr. says, you really haven't changed one bit in the last 25 years. Keep my name out of your loud mouth. That's always a big thing. Keep my name out of your mouth. We're all supposed to hope and change, baby. Hope and change. Apparently, Rocker didn't hope and change. You wouldn't have had the balls to say that to my face the other night. Lanky-ass clown. John Rocker is a menace to society. Now, hold on here a second. Last I looked, John Rocker is just on X. Last I looked, Patrick Mahomes' daddy has not one, not two, but 3 DUIs. Now, I don't know if you understand this, but DUI is a bit of a menace to society, is a major menace to society. Somehow, some way, Patrick Mahomes Sr. has avoided big-time jail time. He's got all kinds of probations. He's got serious DUI. There's different kind of DUI. With all due respect, John Rocker coming out to say hello or make a joke doesn't make him a menace to society. Neither does him being on X. What makes you a menace, Patrick Mahomes Sr., is your continued stupidity, your continued drunk driving, your continued assery, and your son, Jackson, who, by the way, seems like he settled down. All right. Mike Francesa the Godfather, the Kingpin. Stop. Whenever Mike Francesca tries to act tough, I remember when he came with Belichick and Parcells down to IU. We didn't know who the hell he was, and he was sitting there very meekly. He tried to chime in as a radio reporter once or twice on a great conversation about athletics, sports, game management, and all three of them basically told him, sit there and shut up. And then all of a sudden, Francesca showed up on the coverage of CBS. I'm like, wait, that's that guy. The hell's that guy? But he became the godfather of all sports talk radio. Okay. Anyway, legendary, because my guys, the Knicks, are in New York, and everybody in New York loves or hates Francesca. Mike Francesca believes the NFL is committing overkill with regards to its pop culture influence. Most notably the Super Bowl. Does he have a point, or is he being a gas bag? Here's what Francesca says. I understand the NFL is about access, but what they've done to this game, I'm not a wrestling fan, but I think they took a page out of the WWF. Do I need actors announcing the teams? That so much takes away from the drama. Really? No. That so much takes away from the feel that football as teams come out of the tunnels. You need an actor because an Eagles fan with his little kid there, or John Hamm? I mean, what is this about? How many actors do we need to hear from today before the game started? All right, I'm going to stop you right there. I sent Eric Shanks, who's a former IU guy. He runs all of Fox Sports. He came up to me at the Super Bowl when I was waiting to go in, said hello. Great. I knew him when he was in the SID office at IU. I got to tell you, I sent him a text yesterday, and I never hear back from him or Brad Zager because, I don't know. Anyway, I sent him a text that said, nice meeting you, all that stuff, but congratulations on an outstanding job with the Super Bowl. From the start of the game until the end of the game, with the game and the singing and everything in between, it was incredibly joyful. That's how I felt. Now, I get it. Everybody can feel different. I thought the music pregame was great. I thought the music in-game, Country Roads, I said this the other day, was great. But I get it. People can differ. I had no problem with having people introduced. A little tired of the Hollywood types, but that's all right. We got Brad Pitt. We had guys announcing the teams. We got Tom Cruise. Every time I turn around, there's another actor. Are we going to hear from everyone in Hollywood before the game starts? I don't mind him voicing that. I think that's reasonable. I mean, look, we all have come to the conclusion that Hollywood is a bunch of gross pedophiles, or at least that's what the media is telling us. And so, you know what? We would like to move away from Hollywood, but let's be honest. Stars sell. They do. I'll guarantee you Francesca every day in the summer talk more about the Yankees than the Mets because the Yankees are better. You got to play the hits. Stars sell. People like to see stars. I don't blame Francesca for his take, though. I don't. We got Brad Pitt. We had guys announcing the team. Tom Cruise. All right? We can hear from everyone in Hollywood? All right. I understand that it's a lot of money for a commercial. But what are we going to do? Get to the point where the game starts at 9 o'clock? Cool with me. The game started tonight like at 10 to 7. I mean, when does it end? 10 to 7? Back when I was growing up in Chicago, that's when Archie Bunker started. 60 Minutes usually got rocking and rolling at 6, over at 7. Archie Bunker started on Sunday night at 7. And then at 9 o'clock, when the FBI came on and they said the 10 most wanted, I was going to bed. I was a scared kid. I didn't want one of them 10 most wanted crawling in my bedroom at night. What are you going to do? The game started at like 10 to 7. I mean, when does it end? Oh, I don't know. Can you imagine if it started at 7:05? What are we going to do? Are you telling me we need to have interviews on the field with Mahomes and Barkley? Yeah, why not? After we had interviews with them all week, got to have interviews with them before the game starts? What is there left to say? How many times are you going to do interviews? The overkill of this game has gotten to the point where it's nauseating. I'm not mad at him saying that. I would imagine a lot of people feel like I felt, and a lot of people felt like Francesca felt. Like, look, when I watch a game, the only thing that really annoys me about the game, because I don't watch the pregame show, I did in this case, and I liked it. I didn't watch the pregame show. I watched the festivities. I kind of liked it. What are you going to do? But I usually don't. Last night, Peacock had both Indiana teams playing. They had Purdue at Michigan, and then they had Indiana at Michigan State. I watched both of the games, but I watched them on mute. About 2 minutes of Robbie Hummel and whoever little kid that he's doing the game with talking and talking and talking. I'm like, that's enough. Then I turned on the Indiana game. I don't even know who was doing that game. I turned that off too. I kept it on, but I listened to it on mute. I'm used to watching games on mute. That's the only thing that really bothers me. I don't care about the interviews. I mean, you're paying a sideline woman a lot of money. You know, you're paying Erin Andrews to do what? Stand around, interview somebody before. Maybe she gets something from the sideline. You got to use her. Or don't pay her. Like, if you want to cut waste, you can cut waste in a broadcast big time. All right, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan went on a massive rant, and I mean a rant for the ages, rallying against the Democratic Party, aligning they're shooting themselves in the foot, which they are in big trouble if they don't stop the division between big government and the American people. Here's what Rogan had to say.
They're going to keep shutting people. They're not going to correct course. This is a buffalo drop. Do you know those buffalo jumps?
No.
You know what the Native Americans used to, one of the ways to hunt buffalo was to get them to the edge of a cliff and just run at them, and they just fall off the edge of the cliff, and then people would be waiting on the bottom, they'd butcher them and eat them.
Okay.
We're in that pile of buffalo.
We're all being run off the cliff?
Yeah, they're going to go off the cliff. There's no way they're not.
Yeah.
They're not course correcting at all. You know, they're saying stupid shit. It's all nonsense. Their understanding of social media and the dynamics that you set up by having completely state-controlled mainstream media where they only said the narratives that you guys wanted. They all said it in step. So you could watch different programs repeat the exact same words, exact same phrases. We know they got talking points. We don't trust you anymore. We don't trust the New York Times. We don't trust the Washington Post. We don't trust CNN or any of the MSNBC. Where they're all full with propaganda.
Yeah.
And so that's why the internet rose. It's not because there was some sort of a fucking right-wing conspiracy and heavily funded. No, you guys suck. You guys fucking suck. And you're not real people, and you're not, like, nobody wants to hang out with Brian Stelter.
Boy, is that true. Woo! The whole thing is true. You got to read the room, people. You got to read the room. If you're bitching against big government, if you're bitching against wasteful spending, what do you want? You just want your party to win. But what do you truly want? Like, if you look at what Doge is uncovering, and apparently they made a mistake on the condoms, I don't know, and I really don't care. But if you look at the wasteful spending, what would you like? I always ask this. You don't want this coach, so who's the alternative? You don't want this quarterback. Who would you like? Who's realistic? What is realistic? So what's realistic here? What would you like? Would you like somebody, I don't know, as a president that doesn't pay attention to this? I hear people all the time in the election cycle bitch about, well, you know, we're so in debt. Well, here's a president that's trying to do something about it, and you're bitching, whining, and moaning. And the American people are responding. Here's the deal. President Donald Trump is kicking off his second tour of duty in the White House in stronger polling position than during the start of his first administration 8 years ago. That's really no surprise. A new national poll indicates we just came off the worst president of my lifetime, and I never thought anybody would surpass Jimmy Carter. 46% of voters say they approve of the job the Republican is doing so far, with 43% disapproving, according to the Quinnipiac University study. I would always ask, what do you disapprove of? Like, and try not to give me a talking point that you're just following with the Democratic Party. What are you mad about? Like, what has he done? He's closed the border, 95% closure. He's exposed all kind of waste. He's put executive orders in place so that women can compete only against women. He's done a million other things. I mean, what do you want? That's a very reasonable ask. I'm not being crazy here. I'm not being loud Republican conservative guy. I'm simply asking, what do you want? Here's going to be the answer. I don't want a Nazi. Okay, how's he a Nazi? I have a very good friend. We make fun of him. Not to his face because he's incredibly sensitive. He's one of my longtime friends. Every time I go to his Twitter, he's calling Republicans Nazis. Another friend of mine, mutual, we're all great friends, first grade and on, said, hey, man, let's talk about it. I'm not ready to talk about it. Oh, okay. All right. Republicans, 86-4, approve of the job Trump is doing, while Democrats 86-8% disapprove. That's the highlights. Among independents, 41% approve, 46% disapprove, and 13 didn't offer an opinion. Well, I got to ask you, what do you want? Seriously, I mean, if you have a brain, you understand that opening the border for the first time really in our country's history through Democratic presidents, Republican presidents, 12 out of 16 years, well documented, it's been a Democratic president. And we never opened the borders until this guy came in. Now the borders are closed. Now it appears that prosecutors are going to have to start prosecuting. Even the George Soros' ones are being embarrassed into prosecuting. I mean, what do you want? I'll hang up and listen. I would love to have a reasonable conversation about what do you want. I don't want a Nazi. You don't have a Nazi. I don't want Elon Musk. Why not? He's not an honest or fair guy. What? Smart guy? What's unfair about cutting waste in our government? What's unfair about already cutting the budget by 2%? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I'll hang up and listen. Hey, friend of the show and OutKick stud, Tommy Lahren. She's going after NFL fans for booing Taylor Swift when she was featured on the big screen during the second quarter of the Super Bowl. Do I agree with her analysis? Let's hear her analysis first. I know I see this differently than a lot of my conservative friends, but I don't like nor do I celebrate the booing of Taylor Swift. What did she do to any of y'all? I get that she endorsed Kamala, but that's her right. Are we supposed to hate someone because they have different political opinions? Overall, she's a wholesome and talented performer who, by all accounts, is kind to her crew and a nice person. I don't celebrate that kind of thing being booed just because she voted for someone I don't agree with. See, I get it that if you're a political reporter, you think of things in the terms of politics. If you are a sports guy, you think of things in sports. My daughter asked me the question. I gave her the answer. I will think about it. When you heard a good play for the Eagles, you heard a very loud crowd. When the Chiefs made one of their rare good plays, you didn't hear it so much. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the Eagles took over New Orleans. We were all there. I said it earlier in the show. I went from our hotel, took an Uber to this bar. I think it was called My Bar, right on the corner on Bourbon Street, where Cowherd was doing his show. Upstairs, the Fox guys were hanging. Will Cain was doing his show on a balcony. I was doing Will Cain's show. Wednesday, when we walked down that street, not very many people. Thursday, when we walked down that street, more people. Friday, that's when I went to do the show, Eagles people. I mean, Eagles people everywhere. They took over the city. So the Eagles are rolling. They show on the big screen the Chiefs' number one fan, at least in their mind. What do you think's going to happen? It has nothing to do with politics. I don't think people said, hey, we don't like her politics. We're going to boo her. No, she is representative of all Chiefs fans because in the world, she would be the number one Chiefs fan. Screw Mama Kelsey. People wouldn't pick her out of a lineup except for at an NFL game with her kids' jerseys on. But I got to tell you, Clay Travis says she got booed because her boyfriend plays for the Chiefs. And most of the crowd were Eagle fans. Also, NFL fans are tired of 2 years of obsessive relationship covered. Don't think that much was political in nature. I didn't think it was political in nature. I mean, maybe. I shouldn't be so naive to think maybe there wasn't a little bit of it. I mean, when they showed Donald Trump, the whole place erupted. But again, you should. Even though there were a lot of Eagles fans. And, well, Philadelphia, like Chicago, is historically corrupt Democratic. It's all right. Paige Spiranek, friend of OutKick and Rackalicious, it was reported that the NFL's brand value has increased almost $1 billion since Taylor Swift started dating Kelsey. The NFL is using her popularity to boost their brand, like everybody else in the world. So booing Taylor Swift is lame. She was just showing up to support her significant other. The amount of time she's shown at a game or posted on social media is out of her control. Nobody's booing her because of that. Sure, I shouldn't say nobody. Most people are booing her because she was a Chiefs fan. And the Chiefs were getting their ass kicked. There's also jealousy. I get it. But if you were going to break it down, in my opinion, by percentage, if you were going to do it by percentage, I would say 90% because she represents the Chiefs, 3% because political, 7% jealousy, She's got what you ain't got. And people ain't be liking that. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. Humble brag here on Fox. Listen to this. Super Bowl 59. Shattered viewership records as millions watched the Eagles beat the Chiefs 40-22. You know, it was a rout, but I thought it was still interesting. I thought Fox did a great job with it. I've been critical of Fox. I've been critical of Fox personalities, but not these guys. I thought it was great. I really did. I thought it was great. Fox Sports announced on Monday that a projected average of 126 million watched the game across Fox, Fox Deportes, Tubi, Telemundo, NFL digital properties. The game was broadcast on Fox, streamed live for free on Tubi. For the first time ever, about 135.7 million viewers turned in at the peak, which Fox said that was between 8 to 8:15, second quarter of the game. By that time, the Eagles were well on their way to a big victory. Additionally, Fox said 14.5 million streamed the game on Tubi and NFL digital properties. Tubi is pretty good, received 13.6 million viewers alone. I feel like we contributed to that. I feel like my guy Gary, my guy Aaron, et al., we added to that number. Tubi, you owe us a little bit of something, maybe some free advertising. Hey! Before we go to break, do not forget, here's your daily reminder. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's right, our YouTube channel. You don't miss any of the action. From Charlie, Hot Mike, Ricky Cobb, Clay Travis, and, of course, moi. That's right. That's what you need. You need the YouTube channel.